Hello, and welcome to today's Easter meditation. I think it's important that we name the elephant in the room. I think it's important that we acknowledge that maybe for one of the first times in a long time, those of us who are heirs to the Christian tradition are going to be celebrating Easter, or this event of resurrection, this archetype of resurrection, in a way that the earliest disciples celebrated it. We are told that they ran from the cross, they went into hiding, they went into fear of their own lives, they gathered together paralyzed by uncertainty. And then somehow these stories of something being born among them evolved in these communities. And perhaps the church has been too quick to move from the event of Good Friday to the event of Easter morning, because we know that that mystical act of rebirthing and rising and a reawakening is very often a slow and painful process. And so as we move forward into these days known as Eastertide, we are going to be continue to living in times of uncertainty, continue to move from a place of death to rebirth, from uncertainty to fear, to glimpses of something new. And so I'm going to share with you this morning a few readings from the Iona community, and then a thought or two. Scarlark and hawk. Tingling dawn freshness, shock of wet dewgrass. Skylark bursting from the ground to sing, to sing, to sing. He is risen, risen, risen. Anguished and weary, frightened and bold, deaf to God's message, we come to the tomb. Empty and broken, stolen and lost, robbed of our grieving, deprived of our host. Scattered and running, we fall in despair. A stranger, we mistake him. Fall into his arms until he, with tenderness calling our name, turns us round firmly and sets us in flight. Like hawk from the fist of the falconer, we soar to tell all the world, he is risen indeed. And this piece called Touch. The rough bark pressed against my forehead as I clung to the tree and let grief's healing tears flow. The strong support of his forearms under mine as he said, "Don't cling. Go and tell the others." The wet grass on my feet as I flew, the warm touch of their hands as we shared the good news. The light of Christ shining from our eyes. Many of us are familiar with the iconography that is meant to provide an image for resurrection that evolved out of the Western Church, and it is all fairly much the same. You have a tomb with Jesus breaking out of it and all kinds of dazzling light coming from within it. It's kind of like a Hollywood moment. But what most of us don't know is that the iconography that came out of the Eastern Church as a means of helping us imagine the resurrection is completely different. So the images of resurrection that come out of the Eastern Church, in fact, have Jesus kind of planted firmly with one hand here and another one there and reaching into the tomb and bringing out, in fact, the whole of humanity. I love that image. I think that it is so much more in keeping with what is at the heart of this resurrection event. And that is that what came out of the tomb were all of those things that empire and the abuse of power tried to keep down, and that is love and compassion and peace and hope and encouragement and joy. And there is a sense, and I think we're feeling it deeply now as a human community, that it is time that we all rose, and that somehow resurrection, as well as being something cosmic and mystical, is very much of an inside job as well. And so as you make your way through this day, and as this day serves as a portal to yet another season that may feel a lot like holy hell yet again, I invite you to consider what stones need to be moved away in order for you to break out of all that imprisons you. What stones, such as anxiety and fear and resentment and disappointment, do you need to roll away? And how are you being called to emerge, reawaken, be part of a larger rebirthing? And let us always remember that the goal is beloved community. So as you make your way through this season, every day consider how you may take action to participate and create the beloved community in this place and this time. I leave you with these words that are a reminder of all the ways that the mystery we call God is embracing us and encouraging us and supporting us. Weave a web of presence around us this day, gracious mystery. Be with our hands as they work, be with our eyes as they see, be with our ears as they hear, be with our tongues as they speak. Be with all the people with whom we communicate, be with the decisions we take. Be in and through, over and under all that, doing and hearing and seeing, speaking and making and being. We may be a reflection of your glory, that we may together joyfully and creatively rise as a new heaven and a new earth. Amen. Stay well, good friends. And at some point this week, we'll pick up morning and evening prayer again.